but I have something to say to you! You see, I've waited a long time to say this to you, Eric Bischoff. But in case you don't notice, it's not Paul Heyman with his tail between his legs going to a WCW pay-per-view. You are in our house, bitch!
Oh God, oh good God, I am fired up after hearing that. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I am the messiah of the microphone, 23-year-old piece of gold, the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today, the Pod Father. And yes, I'm still your current reigning defending Bulletcast champion, just like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, and Adam Cole, baby. This Tartarina's hashtag forever undisputed. For life, brother. And why am I here? I'm here to lead the evolution in this audio revolution. And for the first time in 83 weeks, yes, I know, there is a big pun there, I'm doing a podcast by myself. Bulletcast, what episode is this? Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen, let me find out. I think it's 127. Yep, 127. I'm doing it all by my lonesome. It's been 83 weeks, like I said. I know the irony in that, of course, WCW beat WWF, WWE in the ratings for 83 consecutive weeks. Of course, it's the name of Bischoff's podcast that he does with Conrad. Hey now, shout out Conrad. But yeah, man, this is just gonna be interesting. We're gonna just chill and talk here. It's just gonna be me and the people. You know, after last week's episode with Baby Huey, shout out Huey for coming on the BC and joining me and just shooting the ish about the world of professional wrestling. But we're going to jump right into it. So outside of the ring, Braun Strowman has a separated pelvis after the spot that he and Bobby Lashley performed on Monday Night Raw. We're going to get into that, but Strowman, hopefully get well soon. I hear that he had other nagging injuries, so this is probably a write-off for him to get off TV. Honestly, could have did the spot at Extreme Rules, but the first Raw under the Heyman regime, I dig it. I absolutely dig it. And going back to the whole Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff getting roles in WWE, I hear Bischoff doesn't really take over until the Smackdown after Extreme Rules. So we got I think that's, oh God, that's like in 2 weeks. So that's going to be interesting to see there. All right, Seth Rollins apologizes. He apologizes to Will Ospreay. So I have the tweets here. I am going to read them. But before he apologized, he sent out this other tweet. I stand firm in my statements that WWE is the best professional wrestling on the planet, and that I'm the best of the best doing it right now. After a hell of a week of travel, our crew didn't waver for a second. Top-level humans busting their asses for the love of the game. And then, after a few days to sit on it, I'd like to apologize to @Will Ospreay for the tweet I sent. Was about comparing bank accounts. It was dumb for me and not in line with my values. The moment I pressed the send button, I knew it was trash, but I'm too stubborn for my own good. It's cool that Rollins apologized to Ospreay. I know some people have had issues with him throwing out his bank account. I mean, I didn't mind it, you know. I was like, oh yeah, you know, rub it in their faces. Like, yeah, I make more money than you. I'm the champion of the universe. I work in the biggest game in town. You know, if I was Seth Rollins and I was actually, I wouldn't want. Let me say, I was WWE champion, or hell, even the UK title. If I had a championship in WWE, and I'd throw that around also. Just kayfabe, people, guys. Come on, keep it kayfabe. Don't take it seriously. Alright, so moving on from that, Eric Young is apparently a producer backstage on 205 Live. I don't know when this started. I heard when he's not being used for Smackdown, this is what he's doing. Because, you know, 205 Live comes on right after Smackdown on the WWE Network. They're using the same arena. And then apparently, I've heard rumblings that 205 Live will be no more at the end of this year, you know, with the Fox deal coming in. And I don't know, man. I think 205 Live, you know, WWE's been good at hiding attendance lately. But at 205 Live, people do stay to watch it because the one 205 Live I was actually at, you know, when Enzo Amore, I think he was the champion. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. I haven't been to a 205 Live now since Hunter's taken over. And maybe even Bischoff will get his hands on 205 Live. You know, he did a great thing putting the cruiserweights on Nitro back in the 90s. You had prominent spots for guys like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and Jericho and Dean Malenko and what was it? Not Jushin Thunder Liger, Ultimo Dragon. You had great spots for those guys, so maybe Bischoff can get his hands on that as well. It's on the same day. He wouldn't have to travel anywhere else. You know, just stay a little later at the building. I think that'd be awesome. All right, Eli Drake. Dummy. Yeah. Sorry, I just love doing that. He signs with the NWA. So he was the tag team partner of the National Treasure, Nick Aldis, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He was the best in the world that went up against the Briscoes. I love Eli Drake, man. I loved his stuff in TNA Impact Wrestling in 2016. He was doing his Fact of Life talk show, and he was just entertaining as all hell. He was doing this, of course, at the time where Jericho was doing his list gimmick in WWE. Not gonna lie, I popped every time Jericho put somebody in the list, but there were times where I popped harder for Eli Drake just pressing that dummy button. Somebody just cuts him off. He's like, dummy, yeah. Like, it was great. It was hilarious. You know, let me talk to you. That's a fact of life. I love all that. I had the privilege of talking to Eli Drake once at an indie show out here. Just chatted up with him real quick. Really nice guy. And go check out his Chris Van Vliet interview. Chris always does amazing work, and he just goes in depth about what happened with him leaving Impact and what's he going to do, where's he going to go. He posted that picture of Eli Drake, but the E was the WWE logo just turned in, to face like an E, so I thought that was pretty funny. He was just trolling people. And you learn some interesting stuff about Eli Drake. He does the motion capture for the WWE games, so he does like Triple H's entrance and a lot of superstars' entrances, and that's why his moves are in the game. If you've ever wondered that, so that I thought that was pretty interesting. I like that. All right, moving on from that, Stephanie McMahon gives her thoughts on AEW. So I can't remember who it was, but somebody caught her coming out of the airport. It wasn't TMZ. I don't think it was TMZ. And they were asking her questions about the XFL, and she said she has no plan to be part of it at the moment. But when it comes to AEW, she said competition is great for everybody. You know, she kept it really general and broad, which, you know, I thought that, okay, well, of course she's going to do that. She's a businesswoman. She's the chief brand officer or CFO, chief financial officer of the WWE, one of them. You know, so I was like, okay, you know, keep it general, keep it positive. So just her talking about it and acknowledging it, I'm like, all right. Because, you know, I mean, we know they're aware, but just to actually hear them acknowledge it is cool. I'd love to hear how Hunter thinks about it. I'd love to hear what Shane thinks. And if somebody can get Vince McMahon to talk about AEW, oh, man. You're talking business. You're talking business, BBL. Moving on from that, we have Charles Robinson, Lil Nate. Charles Robinson, referee with WWE. He famously reffed the last WWE match that Ric Flair had, you know, with Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 24. So apparently $55,000 of memorabilia was stolen from Robinson. I didn't exactly find out how it was stolen, but Robinson did post the TMZ photo of the article in the news. He's like, that sucks, you know. It was a lot of stuff. It was a very long list of things that were stolen from him. You know, hopefully he gets some of it back, because that's crazy, man. Just like who does that, man? Like that's messed up. You know, he's a referee too, so I don't know how much money they make. I'm sure he makes more. He's one of the senior officials. He's been doing it for such a long time, but like referees, they don't do anything wrong. Like they're just there to count the pin, count somebody out, or occasionally take a bump and be dead for 20 minutes while somebody does a run in a match. But you know, Robinson, I hope you get all your stuff back, man. Lil Nate, one of my favorite things I've ever seen out of WCW. I enjoyed it, loved it. All right, let's talk about Inside of the Ring Fighter Fest. It happened this past week, and yeah, it happened. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be all in or double or nothing. I wasn't expecting it to be anything like that. But it was cool, you know. The Elite got together. They wrestled the Lucha Bros, Pentagon, and Ray Phoenix, and Laredo Kid. They threw out Hadokens, which I was like, ha, okay. You know, it's a gamer convention. I get it. I understand. But I want to talk about Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes first of all. Darby Allin, I watched that Viceland episode of The Wrestlers that he was featured on very heavily. Oh my God, that coffin drop onto the apron of the kid damn near killed himself for this. It goes to a time limit draw, which I love that. It gives it that real sports feel. And then people are saying that afterwards, after the time limit draw, they made Darby Allin, which he did feel like he was made a little bit. Sure, that he got a really big prominent spot. I enjoyed him, but people are talking about the unprotected chair shot to the head that Cody Rhodes took from Shawn Spears' Perfect 10, aka Ty Dillinger. Now, people are saying that Spears stole Darby Allin's spotlight. Look, that was a big thing coming out of it. I think that was the biggest thing that people talked about at a Fyter Fest among the unsanctioned matches I'm going to get to in a second. But look, I didn't just overshadow Darby Allin or overshadow Shawn Spears after what he did. I'm like, no, I'm still thinking about Darby Allin and how crazy the guy is. For him to go to a time limit draw with the executive vice president of the company, I'm like, okay, the kid can hang. He can hang in the ring with him. So let's see. But Shawn Spears and Cody, this is obviously leading to All Out in Chicago, which I'm fine with. I'd love to see that. Cody and Shawn, they have a long history together. They were in developmental together and all this other stuff. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I know on the Road to Fight for the Fallen, go check that out on the Nightmare Family YouTube channel. Spears was being taken away by security backstage. MJF's just yelling at him because, MJF is Cody Rhodes' best friend and that's his mentor. So, of course, he felt that way about it. But, I don't think JR had to yell CTE all those times. It's just, they could have said he's going to go backstage and go through concussion protocol. That would have been fine. But I think he did that because of what CTE has become as of late in the last couple of years and how big of a deal it's really become. But yeah, man. So hopefully Cody gets well. He had like 12 staples in the back of his head, and the Bucks and Cody, and not the Bucks. I mean the Bucks and Tony Khan. They were saying like it was a gimmick chair at the end of event press conference, which I love that AEW does that. By the way, they were saying how it was a gimmick chair and something went wrong. You don't have to say. You don't have to say it was a gimmick chair. Just say, yeah, he's being taken care of. He's going through concussion protocol, and we hope he gets well soon for Fight for the Fallen. I thought they could have done that. Like, don't pull back the curtain like that. I didn't like that personally, but it was fine. And unprotected chair shots. Well, I think we need to really stay away from those. I mean, you watch that match that Rock and Mankind had, like brain matter was coming out of his head. That's how badly Mankind got hit with those chair shots. It was like 9 unprotected ones. So let's stay away from that. Really, I think it's time to move on from unprotected chair shots. But I know Cody wanted to do it, so you're not going to tell the executive VP of our company no. Oh, and the unsanctioned match. So they were saying that the 6-man tag was the last. Actually, before I get to the unsanctioned match, Nyla Rose put the title on her. She is an effing star. This is what you do. The inaugural AEW Women's Champion has to be Nyla Rose, and she goes on a tear. If they crown that at All Out, so to speak, this is what you do. Put it on her, let her run with it for a year. She defeats a couple Joshis. She defeats Anja Kong. She defeats Awesome Kong. She defeats Britt Baker. She defeats Allie, the librarian, Leva Bates. She defeats... did I say Brandy already? I think I did, She just goes through the whole woman's roster except for little smiley Kylie. Could you imagine the pop in a Chicago or Vegas crowd after Nyla Rose has dominated their women's division for that long? For the ultimate underdog babyface, like Kylie Ray. She reminds me of like a Johnny Gargano babyface to Jace. Could you imagine the pop she would get if she rolled her up and pinned her 1, 2, 3? That would be awesome. That would be cool. Cody, Bucks, Tony, Kenny, if you guys can hear this, there you go. There you go. Alright, back to the unsanctioned match. So the 6-man tag with the Elite and then the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid. That was supposed to be the last match, so to speak, of the show. And then the unsanctioned match was not part of the show. I listened to CBS Sports' State of Combat podcast. Adam Silverstein, Jack Crosby, Brian Campbell. Shout out to those guys. They were talking about, how the announcer should have went away, Justin Roberts should have went away, and just let the guys come out, no music if it's not a part of the show, and just let them kill each other. It's okay. I didn't mind it. it was fine. There were spots in there like barbed wire wrap tables. I don't think I've ever really seen a barbed wire wrap table. I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's something new for me to see. But yeah, the thumbtacks and Joey Janela being barefoot on those thumbtacks. That I've never seen that one before. I was like, oh my goodness, what is this? You know, John Moxley, he was the prince of the deathmatch for a long time. Then he went to WWE. And as Joey Janela would say, he became a watered-down Kevin Dunn produced version of himself. And then Joey Janela really kind of took the ball when the king of the the king of CZW left the bigger game in town. Joey Janela took the ball and he ran with it for quite some time. I just discovered Joey Janela a couple years ago, man. And so yeah, so that was a cool match. I enjoyed it, you know. And then of course Kenny Omega coming out there at the end and attacking Moxley after he beats Janela with the Paradigm Shift, which is the former name of the Dirty Deeds Double Arm DDT. You know, I said he should have called it that, like right after that promo came out, and look what's happened. Somebody's listening to this show. I don't know who it is, but somebody in AEW is listening to this. I think it's the guy with the apple. I think it is. But yeah, so it was okay. It was all right. It was alright. I don't expect all their shows to be like Double or Nothing. You can't. But I think Fight for the Fallen will be a little bit more serious. You know, you got the Bucks going up against the Rhodes, and I think Kenny's wrestling Shima. But Shima and Daniels, I love the opener. Christopher Daniels is like 50 and can still go. I really appreciate his work and everything he's done in his career. Shima, I dig it. I really, really do. The Joshi's match with Nyla Rose, that was cool. The Fatal 4-Way, Adam Page is an effing horse. I love the fact that he won. I really wanted to see at Fight for the Fallen, Adam Page goes one-on-one with MJF. I would have loved to see that because MJF, the guy, he's a star, man. Unprecedented potential. Private Party, they had an excellent showing in that match with SCU and the Best Friends. SCU went over. I was proud, you know, happy for Scorpio Sky. He's a star. And Frankie Kazarian's been a star for like 20 years. So I enjoyed the show. You know, grade, I'd give it a C+. It was cool. It was average. You know, Fight for the Fallen, it's going to be a little bit more better, I believe. And then, you know, Tony Khan said also that what you saw on this show will not be what you're going to see weekly on AEW once they go to TNT in the fall. You know, you won't see unprotected chair shots weekly, and you won't see death matches weekly, but I'm excited for what they're going to do weekly on TV, you know, how they're going to tell stories. I enjoyed Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, the pairing of them. That's really cool. Go check out the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy interviews that Chris Van Vliet's done. Yeah, man. Alright, speaking of Cody Rhodes, he will be appearing at Triple Mania. I think that's August 3rd. I think he's having a match, you know. Cody, he did a lot of traveling, went to a lot of different shows or promotions when he first left WWE. So, him at Triple Mania, that's a pretty big one. I watched a Triple Mania show in full last year. It was something, you know. It was an interesting watch. But I will be watching Triple Mania now that I know that Mr. Rhodes is on the bill. Alright, and Flip Gordon apparently joins Villain Enterprises. I mean, Flip Gordon, he does have ties with Marty Scurll going back to Marty and Flip Take Japan from the old Being the Elite. So, it's cool they got a fourth member, and I'd like to see what happens. People were saying Brian Cage should join Flip and Villain Enterprises because they're tag team champions somewhere. Which, you know, that's alright. I haven't really paid that much attention to Villain Enterprises. I watched when Brody King, who was in King of the Indies last year, and he was amazing. And PCO, who I've become really fond of over the last couple months, when they won the NWA Tag Team Title Tournament or Jim Crockett Cup or whatever. So yeah, I've become fond of those guys over the last couple months. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be interesting. All right, this day in wrestling. So WWF Superstars 1994. Bret Hart successfully retains the WWF title against Bob Backlund. There was a Smackdown on this day in 2001. I believe Booker T successfully retained his WCW championship against DDP. Hey, it's me, it's DDP. NWA TNA on this day in 2002. Monty Brown, Marcus Corvon, whatever you want to call him, the Pounce. He made his debut in NWA TNA on that date, on this day of this year, of 2002. Sorry. There was a Raw on this day in 2006. And Edge defeats RVD and John Cena to become WWE Champion again. This is after One Night Stand 06. And the match was supposed to happen a few weeks later at a pay-per-view, but, RVD got busted with that ganja, that good, that Mary Jane. And so it was moved up to a Raw, and the Rated R Superstar walks out with the most coveted prize in all of sports entertainment. UFC 116 happened on this day in 2010. And the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, he had a successful fight against, let me get that person's name because I don't want to leave anybody out. It was against Shane Carwin, yes, ending Carwin's undefeated streak by submission, and Lesnar became the UFC heavyweight champion again, MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. If you've never been to that arena, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's very nice. Alright, moving on from that, quite a bit of stuff happened on this day. I'm recording this on July 3rd, day before Independence Day. Oh yes, so there was a Smackdown in 2012. It was a Great American Bash Battle Royal. If you won, you became general manager of the Raw Super Show that they were doing back then. And I think Zack Ryder won. So yeah, that happened. Alright, we got fan mail. Let's check it out. We didn't get that many. Just got a couple. I think we got 3 or something. So here we go. Jack of all trades. I dig the Heyman era already. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that once I get into Raw. Hootie hoo 420. Hootie hoo, as Brandon would say. Was it me, or was it just me, or did Fighter Fest fall flat? Yeah, I kind of did. I already got into that. Gave it a C. Al Lewis. Ricochet is the perfect babyface for the AJ Styles we will be seeing on Raw moving forward. Yeah, I think that's the perfect transition to talk about the most weekly episodic television show in the history of TV, Monday Night Raw. So let's hop into it. Lashley versus Strowman Falls Count Anywhere ends in a no contest because, I didn't care about this. They were doing tug of war and arm wrestling. I'm just not into it, fam. I'm really, really not. But they made me care, man. So Braun Strowman bombards, spears, whatever you want to call it, Bobby Lashley through the Minitron, and then sparks and pyro and everything just starts going off. And I'm like, oh my god, what the hell is this? And then I loved it was like a security cam shot. It was off to the side where you could see in the back. I loved that shot. It made it feel different. I'm like, oh, is Heyman going to work this soon already? Because yeah, a lot of stuff showed Heyman's influence. So I really dug that. And of course, Strowman has a separated pelvis from that now. I'm not sure about if Lashley is kayfabe hurt or if he's really injured. But if that's the case, both guys get well soon. Hopefully back on TV pretty quickly. But yeah, I really enjoyed that spot to open up Monday Night Raw. Alright, and then the second biggest thing, AJ Styles turns heel, baby. You know I love me a good heel turn. You know I love the bad guys and girls. So here's how it goes down. In the back, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, those good brothers, hey now. They're talking to AJ. They're like, man, where's that AJ that I knew in Japan? And then they were like, man, we just talked to Ricochet. He said he's going to beat you. Ricochet's over in the corner stretching. AJ's like, you think you can beat me? And Ricochet's like, yeah. AJ slaps him. Ricochet slaps him. There's no weird fight at the end. He's just like, all right, okay. We're going to go settle this out there. So they have a match for the United States title. AJ hits a beautiful, phenomenal forearm. 1, 2, 3, but the Ricochet's leg was under the rope. If your leg touches the rope, it's the pin's broken, or if it's under the rope, the pin's broken. Just old school rules, bro. Anyway, AJ thinks he wins the title. He does not. And so the match has to restart. They go for a little bit more, and a roll-up catches AJ. It wasn't a jackknife cover. I can't. Maybe like an inside cradle variation. And Styles beats AJ, and then the Good Brothers get up on the apron, and Styles like, what are you guys doing? I got this. And it was kind of similar of the way AJ turned heel when he went up against John Cena in 2016. But yeah, man, he cleaned Ricochet's clock, and then of course the Magic Killer was hit by Gallows and Anderson. Then the second rope Styles clash. It was beautiful. It was so good. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so it's interesting how it's playing out, man. I think this is going to be a different club than what we saw in 2016 before the brand split. Could you imagine just like the club running roughshod, just showing up on Smackdown and beating up people up, just taking what's theirs? Throw Finn in the mix? Oh my god. A heel Finn Balor? Oh Jesus, man. That's money. You know, four's a faction. Four or more is a faction. Who else was in Bullet Club that's in WWE now? Probably Adam Cole, but he wasn't around at the same time. But yeah, man, oh god, that'd be so good. Those guys just running roughshod over WWE. Gallows and Anderson get those tag titles back. Finn's IC champ. AJ gets the Universal or WWE title. Oh, talk about a stable, man. Talk about a stable. That would be so damn good. But I am excited. Heel AJ is the best AJ. You know, I've missed that old AJ. I don't like that new AJ. I'm down for it. I really am. Alright, next up, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch defeat the Kanellises. So, Seth and Becky are backstage being interviewed, and the Kanellises walk up Mike and Maria. Sets up a mixed tag match for later on in the show. And when Mike tags in Maria, Becky's going to go punch her, and she's like, no, I'm pregnant. And Mike's like, how could you be pregnant? Or whatever, so it happened. Mike taps out to the disarmer, and as Seth and Becky walk away, Maria says, you're not man enough to impregnate me. Becky Lynch is more man enough than you, and she can impregnate me. And I'm like, oh, are we going there? I don't know what was happening, man, but it was interesting. I felt that was Paulie dangerously going after it, man, because I don't think Vince produced that. I would hope to God he didn't produce that. If he did, he probably would have been like, that's such good-ish. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see how that development plays out. I wonder if it played out on 205 Live. I'll have to go check. Alright, next up, Samoa Joe and the War Raiders defeat the New Day. So the New Day were going up against the... Are they the War Raiders or War Experience? No, the Viking Experience. Viking Raiders. They're the War Raiders, who cares? So yeah, New Day was going up against War Raiders, and Joe just comes up and starts choking out Xavier, then Kofi comes out, now, oh, wow, a generic 6-man tag, cool. And bruh, when Joe choked out Kofi and won, I was like, yo, Kofi got a loss? It was legit? Joe looked badass doing it? Oh yeah, buddy. I dug it, man. I dugs it, man. But yeah, seriously. Joe, that adds credibility to him, and hell, it adds credibility to the War Raiders, who, where the hell have they been? They've been hiding. I don't know where Vikings hide, or what you do when you embrace that Viking lifestyle, but, something was going down. Some ish was going down. But it was nice to see them on TV and be used in an incredible way. Alright, next up, Drake Maverick defeats R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. Maverick brought his real-life wife, to Raw for their honeymoon. And R-Truth was just bait and switching him and just taunting him while laying next to him with their title on, and his wife, who was very gorgeous, by the way, would just look at him. And I like how he won the title a different way. It wasn't just a roll-up. He smacked R-Truth in the back of the head with his luggage. When you go on vacation, there's a lot of luggage. There's a lot of clothes in the bag, so I understand how it could be heavy and knock somebody out. And he just pinned him, and he got his wife, and they just went on their honeymoon. So yeah, I liked it. Next up, you have Cesaro destroying No Way Jose. Congratulations. I really don't like No Way Jose. You can go flip burgers at McDonald's for all I care. Congratulations, Cesaro. Main event Muscleman with him, EC3, and Robert Roode. Make it happen on TV. By the way, Bobby, get rid of the beard and go back to the mustache. You were glorious with it. Alright, the Street Profits. Oh my god. They got the swag like nobody else, man. Oh my. They're the better NXT Tag Team Champions than the War Raiders. You know why? Because when the Street Profits show up on Raw, they got those tag team championships. Those NXT tag team championships with them, man. I hope Heyman just said, hey, give me those guys, and that's what happened here because it was cool. You know, they were hilarious in their segment with Heyman, and then Angelo Dawkins, who I haven't really been fond of. He kind of outshined Montez a little bit, man. I was like, what's going on with these Street Profits right now, dude? But I really did enjoy it. I really did. Hopefully they're going to be on Raw next week. It's just moving forward. Maybe it moves into an angle where they defend the NXT Tag Team titles on a WWE main roster pay-per-view against the Revival, or just throwing names out there or something. By the way, if that happened, that'd be pretty sick. Alright, so moving on from that, The Undertaker has a segment. McIntyre and the Best in the World, Shane McMahon, are in the ring. They're discussing what happened last week in Taker. You know, there's thunder and lightning bolts. There was a lot of pyro. More pyro than WWE's had in a very long time, unless you go to Saudi Arabia. But yeah. And Taker, you know, you never know what he's saying, but he just says he's here to collect souls. And the rumors are going around backstage that Mark Calloway suggested that he really would like to work with Drew McIntyre. So, kudos to mean Mark Callis over there. Alright, moving on from that, Lacey Evans defeats Natalya. You know, before that she was not caught backstage, but she was backstage when Baron Corbin was talking to the people while she was getting herself all dolled up for a match. The woman's right, it's fine. It's okay. I know Brandon isn't fond of striking finishers like that, but hers, I'm not really buying it. Maybe more of an elbow, kind of like when Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett did the, what was that called? The Burning Hammer? No, I don't remember what the elbow was called. But he was just throws the elbow at your face and your temple and you'd be knocked out. You know, maybe she should do something like that. I don't know. But yeah, they weren't overexposed like they have been in the last couple weeks. They were on for one promo segment and then they had a match and that was it. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. You know, like I said, you know, I'm ready for the Corbin title run, man. Don't at me. If you have positive things that you can at me, Baron Corbin. If you hear this, you can at me. We can talk about it. But yeah, I'm ready for a Baron Corbin title run. I was just watching his big U.S. title win that he had at Hell in a Cell 2017, going up against Styles and the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And I was like, wow, I was happy for him then. I was still happy for him watching that. And if he won the Universal title, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I said it. Like I said, positive things at me. If you have negative things, don't at me. Next up, The Miz defeats Elias in 2 out of 3 falls. It was fine. It was okay. Don't know what they're doing with Miz and Elias. Moving on. Carmella defeats Little Miss Bliss, then Nikki Cross defeats Carmella. Yeah. Okay. I see what they're going here. They're still playing up the odd pairing of Little Miss Bliss, the bombshell, the beauty, the girl next door. Every guy wants to be with her, and the kind of weird, quirky girl that sits in the back of the class and will laugh at weird things to herself. Yeah. I went there. Alright, going on to Smackdown Live, baby. We have Heavy Machinery earning a championship match at Extreme Rules, so they went on to defeat the odd pairing of Kofi Kingston, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Before this match was made, Kevin Owens was hosting the Kevin Owens show. He had his cue cards with Drew McIntyre and the Best in the World, Shane McMahon. Dolph Ziggler comes out there, and he's about to cut a promo. And KO was like, man, you complain about this. It should have been you. It should have been you. But it hasn't. But then it wasn't. You've been doing this for like 10 years. Just shut up already. And Dolph Ziggler says something about KO. The only thing is fit for is a hot dog eating contest. And then KO's like, if I was in that, I would win unlike you did with the WWE title. And everybody's like, oh. So the match is made for Machinery to face Ziggler and Owens. And so Heavy Machinery wins. So now at Extreme Rules, it would be the New Day versus Heavy Machinery versus Bryan and Rowan for the, sorry, I had to yawn, for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. I was like, oh, alright, that's interesting. And then, so also that happened on SmackDown, Kofi Kingston stands up to Samoa Joe. Joe cuts a great promo, as he always does, and he's like, Kofi, all you have to do for that is to shake my hand. And Kofi, maybe Bischoff, maybe Heyman was on SmackDown, I don't know. Kofi just flips him the bird, and I noticed they did something different. They actually allowed to see the full middle finger on TV, which they don't do that, you know. I was like, oh, this is different. Then Joe gets caught with a Trouble in Paradise, and Kofi stands tall. Excuse me, Jesus. I really think Joe should win the championship. I do. Kofi's had a great run, but I think it's time for Joe. But who am I kidding? Shane McMahon's going to beat Kofi Kingston for the WWE title. Because you know why? Because he's the best in the world. All right, moving on from that, R-Truth promises to win back the 24/7 title. And by the way, if you haven't seen the R-Truth Old Town Road remix that he did with the 24/7 title, it's one of the funniest things you're going to watch. He said, "I'm the 24/7 European 7-Eleven something like that. It was just funny. But yeah, he vows to win it back, and R-Truth is 24/7 champion. I love it. I think he'll be like a 10-time champion when he wins it back, so that's going to be interesting to see. Alright, so Nikki Cross hosts A Moment of Bliss. And, she was really nervous. She's never done anything like that before. And it's awkward, never hosting a television show, especially one as important as A Moment of Bliss. You do get stage fright. You really do. But she did a great job, and Bayley, she's a wedge driver, trying to drive a wedge in between Miss Cross and Little Miss Bliss. I don't like that, Bayley. I don't care if you're from the Bay or not. You're not going to be driving wedges between these two good friends right here. Bayley's talking about, why am I defending my title at Extreme Rules against, or not, I don't even know if that's made for Extreme Rules. It might be. Why am I defending my title at Extreme Rules against Alexa when I could be defending it against you? And I'm like, oh, snap. Anyway, it leads to a match, and Bayley defeats Nikki Cross, or Thicky Cross, as my boy Sean Stewart would say. Shout out, Sean, if you hear this. But yeah, man, I think, I don't know when people want Nikki Cross to wise up. I don't know when that's going to happen, or if that is going to happen. But actually, it's not going to happen because Alexa Bliss is one of the nicest people ever. Like, personally, I've never met Alexa, but if I did, I'm sure she'd be very nice to me because she's just a good person. She's just trying to help Nikki Cross out. Alright, next up we have Andrade Cien Almas. Yes, he still keeps his full name here, going up against Apollo Crews. Zelina Vega with the Zelina Carana. Very, very nice move. And Andrade with that hammerlock DDT for the big win. So that's going to be nice. That's a big, nice win for him. Don't know where he goes from there. Really, really don't. Alright, moving on from that, we have Aleister Black. He issues a challenge to whoever knocked on his door last week. And he says he wants a match with them at Extreme Rules. I pray, oh my God, let it be Bray Wyatt. Let it be Bray Wyatt. Let the Fiend come up against Aleister Black, bro. And then Aleister Black goes for that black mass, and it doesn't even knock him down. Like, he gets hit with it, but he doesn't move. Only thing that moves is his head. Could you imagine that? That'd be cool. That'd be sick. That'd be weird. I like weird. We all know I like weird. I dig it, man. I really, really digs it, man. Alright, so I hope that happens. Moving on from that, Ember Moon defeats Mandy Rose. Mandy. With the Eclipse, best finishing move in the business. I'd really enjoy it. If you haven't seen that live, you need to go to a show, preferably a Smackdown, and just catch Ember Moon dropping that move, because it is beautiful. Yeah, so she's continuing her story with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and I wonder if they're going for a little love angle between Mandy and Sonya. Wouldn't be opposed to it. It's 2019. That's all. That stuff's all right. I'd be down for it though. Get a little edgy. Fox wants an edgy. I think that they want an edgier product or a more sports-like product. You can get edgy and sports-like all in one show. You can do that. All right, next up, it was the last thing on my list for SmackDown Live. Shelton Benjamin was being interviewed, and he was asked, who do you think is going to win the WWE Championship at Extreme Rules, Kofi Kingston or Samoa Joe? After a long pause, he just kind of smirked, laughed a little bit, then walked away. Dude, so could they be foreshadowing that Shelton Benjamin interferes in this WWE title match at Extreme Rules, and then Benjamin is calling next? Dude, Shelton Benjamin should have been WWE champion like 10, 15 years ago, man. So damn good. He's still that damn good. Like, I'd be down for Shelton Benjamin in the title picture. I would love it. I would like to see it, but I don't know what that means. I really don't. That's interesting. And Superstar Spotlight, I don't know, man. I think I will go with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley for the chaos. For the absolute chaos that I saw. It was hectic. It was crazy. And yeah, I dig all of that, man. I really, really do. All right, next up, I want to talk about All Pro Wrestling King of the Indies. They're partnered with the Pro Wrestling Revolution. They did this last year, the day before the Cow Palace show that NJPW ran. It was cool, man. I enjoyed it. Dragon Lee, he won the tournament, and then the next night he went on to damn near kill. Oh my god, I forgot that guy's name that he wrestled at that Cow Palace show, but it really doesn't matter. All right, so let's really talk about this though. King of the Indies. So a lot of the people that are announced is Jungle Boy. This is his last APW appearance. And then you have Jacob Fatu, the APW Universal Champion, going up against. Oh, he's tagging with Will Hobbs, former APW Internet Champion, going up against the current tag team champions of APW, Reno Scum, Lester the Legend, and Adam Thornstowe. So that's gonna be interesting. But a lot of the people booked for this, you got JR Kratos, TJP, TJ Perkins, Jake Atlas, who I've been really high on lately. You have a Dragon Lee returning. You have Ace Romero, who I met at Starcast. He was a really nice guy. Yeah, so you have Kratos and Ace Romero going up against each other. That's a first match round. Of course, you have Jonathan Grisham going up against TJP. And you have Laredo Kid, wow, who was just at Fyter Fest, going up against the defending King of the Indies champion, Dragon Lee. So this is going to be a really interesting show, man. I can't wait for it. I'm excited. I think this is going to be some really good-ish. You know, APW, they always put on a great show. And I wonder when they're going to run the Cow Palace again. I would hope they would do that sometime in the near future. But, you know, I know that costs a ridiculous amount of money. And I don't want people to go bankrupt just trying to put on a wrestling show. You know what I mean? But, yeah, King of the Indies, Pekeli Event Center, Daly City, California. If you're in the Bay Area, go to this show. You don't want to miss it. I really enjoyed King of the Indies last year, and I love tournaments since I am an amateur wrestler. Sat through a lot of them in high school, and then I coached them, and so I still sit through a lot of them now. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a really good one. I can't wait for it. All right, so that's King of the Indies, and now we're going to the promo pick of the week. Paul Heyman Shoot ECW One Night Stand promo from June 12th, 2005. I played a snippet of it in the beginning of the show. It's the whole JBL, you were only champion because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play you the rest of the promo. Enjoy, and I'll come back and talk to you after.
But I have something to say to you! You see, I've waited a long time to say this to you, Eric Bischoff. But in case you don't notice, it's not Paul Heyman with his tail between his legs going to a WCW pay-per-view. You are in our house, bitch! Wait a minute. Hide your wives. It's Edge. Nobody here's married. No, Edge. I know nobody with a written promo has the balls to say this to you. But I have two words for you. Matt freaking Hardy! Forgot about you. Mr. Shoot promo himself. Bounce checks. ECW went out of business. Hey, John, on a personal note, from all of us, just to you, since you want to shoot, cowboy, the only reason you were WWE champion for a year is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesday. Right there, so the whole world can see us. This ain't WCW. This ain't Monday Night Raw. This ain't Smackdown. This ain't even WWE. This, my friends, is ECW.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you heard the passion from Paul Lee Dangerously, Paul Heyman. I mean, that was some good ish, man. You know, that JBL line always kills me. It really does. But I really enjoy that promo. You know, you just hear the passion from Paul Heyman. And, you know, hopefully, I do believe he still has that passion for the business. I mean, you watch these 365s and 24s on the network, and you see him working with people like Ronda Rousey and working with Alexa Bliss, you know, just giving his creative input. You know, I know he had a lot to do with a lot of creative input for Samoa Joe when he was feuding with Brock Lesnar a couple years ago, going into Great Balls of Fire in 2017. But yeah, man, so Heyman, he has a great mind. You know, if he was a better businessman, then ECW probably wouldn't have folded. But yeah, man, he has a great creative mind, and he would take people who bigger companies like WWE would say, you just do this one thing, so we're gonna kind of hide everything else that you do. But he would bring out the best in those people. You know, he would make quote unquote reject stars. You know, like would Bubba Ray Dudley have really been a big star in '94 when it's still about having muscles? No, being honest with you, no. He was a very large man, and it was just like, he wouldn't have been a star. You know what I'm saying? So I'm extremely happy for the guys that Heyman did make stars, and you know, he created some great memories. You know, I hear Sam Roberts talk about his days of tape training and having all these ECW tapes and going to these ECW shows and just being enthralled with what he was seeing. And you know, that's how it should be with professional wrestling. You know, that I really enjoy that. You know, it's passion that makes this sport, this art form, absolutely amazing. All right, coming up next, let's talk about a guy that had a lot of passion. This is the quote-unquote retirement match. It was the first of many retirement matches that he had. It's September 11th, 1997. ECW. It's Bret Hart as the WWF champion wrestling Terry Funk in a retirement match. Didn't even know this match happened. The Hidden Gem section of the network. That's where you find all this good stuff. So it takes a while to get started because, you know, they're giving all these speeches about Paul Heyman's giving a monologue about Terry Funk's career, and you know, he's presented with the Lifetime Achievement Championship or something like that. And you know, match was cool. I enjoyed it because I've never seen it before. I was like, I didn't even know these guys ever wrestled each other before. You know, just seeing two different styles like that clash was really, really interesting for me. It was some good-ish. It was real good-ish. I recommend you check it out in the whole Hidden Gem section of the WWE Network. It was fine. It was flawless. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to wrap it up for me here. Follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram, The BulletCast, YouTube channel, The BulletCast. Email us, BulletCast2 as the number 2, sweetswet at gmail.com. We're on 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Patreon. We are on Apple Podcast as well. You know, thank you guys so much. Have a happy 4th of July. You know, go eat apple pie, burgers, hot dogs. You know, go be a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. Go pump iron on the 4th. Show your independence for America. Pro Wrestling Tees, we have a shop there. It's in the links in our bio on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Heel Antwine, Heel Heel Antwine Antwine. The link is in my bio there as well. They're having a big sale for the 4th of July, so go purchase a Bullet Cast shirt, man. It's a big, interesting time for the BC. We're going to be doing a lot of interesting stuff moving forward. We're going to have more designs up there for you, and I have a nice interview that's going to be coming to you guys next week. I hope everyone's going to enjoy what I'm going to be doing next week. It's going to be a lot of fun for me, especially interviewing this person who I've been a fan of for a couple years now. But anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. Go America. Yeah. Not really.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.